Hello ladies and gents, and welcome along to the webinar regarding the bank reconciliation feature on Evolution. My name is Barry Dowse and I'll be guiding you through the presentation today. What we're going to do obviously in this presentation is primarily look at the bank reconciliation feature that Evolution has. Now I'm pretty sure that most of you will be fairly familiar with the existing bank reconciliation feature. What I want to do today is look at the updated bank reconciliation feature that is obviously being released with the software. So without further ado, let's just log into Evolution here, and we'll actually show you where the bank reconciliation feature is currently located. So if you go into the nominal ledger, the third option down obviously shows bank reconciliation. Now if you've never used the bank reconciliation before, the first time you go in, it asks you for the bank reference. Okay, now it picks that reference up from the default bank account located within the supervisor option of Evolution. Okay, so that's where that bank reference is actually coming from. Now by all means, if you have multiple bank accounts within the system, i.e. Bank 2, Bank 3, HSBC, Lloyds, whatever the case may be, feel free to change the reference in there to match the reference that you have in Evolution. And obviously what that will allow you to do is reconcile multiple accounts within Evolution. Now as you can see, below the bank reference, you have something called reconciliation period. Now, obviously that's 1 to 26. Or if you leave it blank, as in the case here, it's going to pull up everything that has gone through that bank account since the last time the reconciliation was done. So I say OK to that one. And it gives you a quick question down here at the bottom. So, do you want to reconcile? Do you want a list of the uncleared items? Do you want a list of the previously cleared items, or do you wish to cancel? Obviously, if you click list uncleared, what you're going to get is a list of transactions that have gone through the bank account that haven't been cleared through the bank reconciliation feature. If you click list cleared, what you're going to see is a list of items that have already been reconciled through the bank reconciliation feature, and that report is available to you as well. Just for today, I'm going to click on the reconcile feature down here at the bottom, and that's going to tell me that my current opening balance is £6,544 and 62 pence. Okay, now that should be the opening balance at the top of my bank statement. Okay, which would be in effect the same as the closing balance on your previous statement. It asks me whether I want to reset that. Now, if you've never used the bank reconciliation feature before, you're probably going to want to say yes to that and set the current opening balance to be what it should be. Okay? If you're happy that the current opening balance is correct and you don't wish to reset it, you simply hit no. What it then does is it goes away and it pulls up all of the transactions that are new to the bank reconciliation since the previous one had been done. Okay? Now what you've probably noticed is that it's a slightly different look to the existing bank reconciliation that you have on Evolution. Okay, so for instance, down the left hand side now, you actually have tick boxes, and I'm going to go through those in a moment with you. You also have the the statement and the statement page, both located in the column as well. At the top up here, you actually have the opening balance. Okay, so that's the current opening balance. Below that, you have the marks. Now, what that's going to do is every time you mark an item in here, it's going to add that into the marks feature up here, which is basically the running total of everything that you've marked off the system. And obviously this end balance here is the current balance that this account will be showing as you start ticking items off. And that end balance there, after you ticked all of your items off, should come back and be the closing balance on your bank statement that's in front of you. Okay? Something else that's new to this particular bank reconciliation feature is that you now have the statement date and the statement page down here at the bottom. So you can actually choose, using the calendar function, the date that this statement is actually coming through from, and obviously the page that a particular item will show on. So for instance, if all of my top items here are all on the 19th, and they're all on page 1, simply by going down and clicking on the arrow and clicking in the boxes here, puts a little ticks in to show that it's marked, and it will put the statement date and the statement page from the bottom here into the grid. Obviously, if I change that to statement day 2, when we move through, all of these are going to be recorded with the same page number as well. So in effect, it's actually speeding up the process of going through and marking off the individual items. As you can see, as I've moved through, the individual items are adding up here into the marked column, and also my end balance is being edited depending on what I click. And hopefully, by the time I've clicked all of my transactions off, that end balance will come back to what it should be. Obviously, if the end balance isn't matching up with the transactional balance at the bottom of your bank statement, what we need to do is we need to have a look at this and say, right, okay, what's missing? Have we missed anything out of an evolution? Is there something on the bank statement that isn't showing in here? If so, why? What's that particular transaction? And obviously then that allows us to go back and start working out exactly what we need to do. Another new feature on evolution, the bank reconciliation, is this show composite down here. Now this actually works in a way that if you have, as you can see here, two transactions with the same date for the same payee, okay, with the same sign, i.e. they're both withdrawals, so the total on that would be £200 going to Jewson's on that date. So if you click the show composite button at the bottom, what it does is it actually says to you on the 18th of the 1st 2012, payee Jewson's actually withdrew 200. So in a way you can show composite, and by marking one here it actually marks effectively both off within that bank statement as well. Okay, and obviously by unticking the show composite it actually allows you to go out and mark the individual transactions if you so wish. Yep. Obviously there's a search option up here which is new, allows you to search on the payee and the reference. And there's also a to Excel button, so if you wanted to drop that grid directly into Excel at any particular time, you certainly can do. Once you're happy that everything is okay, you simply hit the commit button at the bottom. It will say, are you sure? Do you wish to confirm and accept the items? You say yes to that, and the next time you then log into the bank reconciliation feature, okay, if I reconcile again, it's remembered my closing balance from the previous session, therefore it's putting it as my opening balance on this. I'm not going to reset it, so I say no, and as you can see all of the items that I ticked previously are no longer showing on that bank reconciliation feature. Okay, and really in a nutshell that is how you would use the new bank reconciliation feature within the system. So I hope you found that useful, and if you have any questions, obviously don't hesitate to contact us on the usual numbers. But thank you very much for listening, and I hope to see you on webinars in the future. Thank you and goodbye.